in marrying me, a Jewish girl, she was going to get an upgraded.
I was marrying rich too, and then I found out.
Yeah, but you're rich.
Doesn't mean as rich as me.
Really? Wait, what? You're wealthier?
Yeah. Part of why I feel like I have to stand like 10 toes down.
Raven-Symoné and her wife Miranda, why is it that I cringe a little bit? Is it because she
put your own personal menstrual blood into
Pasta sauce?
Pasta sauce.
You know, that is the way that I got Raven to fall in love with me.
Like, I know she lying. If you know, you know.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Huh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just.
She was really bummed because she thought that in marrying me, a Jewish girl, she was going to get an upgraded.
I was marrying rich too, and then I found out.
Yeah, but you're rich.
Doesn't mean as rich as me.
Really? Wait, what? You're wealthier?
Yeah. Part of why I feel like I have to stand like 10 toes down about it and speak with my whole chest is because so many people think I married Raven just for money.
So say I didn't. Say I'm richer.
I do. That's what I just did.
So do it right here.
I didn't marry Raven for money. I'm richer.
She needs to go.
Somebody please riddle me this. Why is it every single time I watch a clip with Raven-Symoné and her wife Miranda, why is it that I cringe a little bit? Is it because she says stuff that is better left unsaid or what? I don't know. Why did I just see her mention that she's richer than Raven? Some things we just don't need to know. You don't need to let us know that you're richer than her. I feel like she's trying to prove a lot to us and we just don't care. We're here for Raven and you come with Raven and we're trying to love you, but you're making it hard. She could have just kept it at, I didn't marry Raven for money. I'm genuinely attracted to her. I promise you that would have been enough. If you feel like you need to humble your partner in order to prove something to us or anybody for that matter, we don't want it. Miranda, if you didn't know before, know now. The black community does not play about Raven-Symoné.
Problem is, Raven-Symoné, motherfucking wife, thinks she the main character. Bitch, there's no way that you think people are watching your podcast because of you. Whether you started it or not. Niggas are watching it because Raven fucking Baxter's on it, bitch. We're really being honest. Like, girl, what the fuck? What was your point of even saying that? You knew that she should have regretted her motherfucking words when Raven looked at the camera like she was Raven Baxter. Ever said, I didn't know this, bitch. And just say that. That's exactly what that stare gave. Hey, girl, whether you said that or not, bitch, nobody was watching for you. You're a basic ass white girl. Okay? And you should be lucky that you got with Raven-Symoné. Hi, girl. Nobody's watching that for you. They're watching it for Raven. To get them to understand this was before. When I asked you why okay.
Now, Raven-Symoné's wife, or should we say oldest, because didn't nobody come to see you. Why you ask that question on that podcast? Why you ask why people ask why you sitting there? Because you started the podcast, not Raven. Girl, don't nobody care. We came to see Raven, not you. We don't care if you started it. I don't know why people be wanting credit so bad in a relationship for validation from the outside world. You could see on Raven's face when Raven's like, oh, Raven looks like she's seeing into the future. Girl, Raven was taken aback. I can tell. Because at the end of the day, why are you worried about what people say about you? Know your position. I would sit there if I was married to somebody famous and people was asking why I was sitting there. I wouldn't answer that. I wouldn't even get offended. I would just shut up and yap. I know that don't make no sense, but it does. It makes perfect sense. I'm not answering that. I'm gonna just sit here and get my check. Cause Either way, you're not going to get the answer that you want. You know why? Raven's a legend. I've watched Raven my whole entire life. Not you, Otis. So that's why. You know what I mean? And that was just to say that. That was just a... Why would you ask that? And then sit there and insult your legendary wife. Like, we ain't came to see her. Anyway, I don't know. It's like, do you want your marriage, or do you want your credit or your validation from the outside world? Like, just saying.
So we're all in agreement that we don't like Raven-Symoné's wife, right? Let's talk about it. So a few days ago, Raven-Symoné and her wife Miranda appeared as guests on another podcast. And Miranda stated that she kind of gets a little annoyed when people are always questioning why she is present on the podcast that they have together, because she was the person who initially started the podcast and invited Raven on as an addition to the show. So she gets annoyed when people ask her that question. And a lot of people had backlash for Miranda, not just because of those comments, because what do you mean you don't understand why people question why you're always present? They know Raven-Symoné, they don't know you, okay? We don't know you, Otis, okay? And so a lot of people, once again, are giving Miranda the side eye because, to be honest with you, Miranda is kind of problematic. Every time I see those two together, Miranda is always kind of being very shady, in my opinion, on how she discusses her wife, all right? Whether it be comments that she made about, well, when I initially met her, I had no idea who Raven-Symoné is. Be so for real, okay? Now, Raven and I'm a little older than Raven-Symoné, but I first was introduced to Raven-Symoné in the 90s when she played Olivia on The Cosby Show, okay? From there, she was on That's So Raven. Like I said, I'm older than her, so I didn't really watch that show like that, but I was definitely aware of it, okay, on Disney. Cheetah Girls, and then she also appeared on The View as a co-host for a while. So Raven has a long established history in the industry, and people, regardless of your demographic, know Raven-Symoné. Miranda, newsflash, they don't know you. And my thing is, instead of counting it as a blessing that you have a spouse that is so well known, so accomplished, the vibes that I often get from Miranda, and I'm sorry to say it, is jealousy vibes, okay? Spouses can be in competition with each other, okay? And I get the feeling that Miranda takes great joy and pleasure in humbling Raven. I even saw a clip where she was talking, her and Raven were on an interview, and the subject of money came up. And, you know, the interviewer, because the interviewer knows Raven, okay, you wouldn't even be on these shows to be interviewed for, let's be for real, if your wife was not Raven-Symoné, was talking about, you know, how Raven has done very well in the business space, okay? And instead of allowing her to have her moment, Miranda kind of very in a snarky way was like, well, technically I come from money and I basically have more money than Raven. Who does that? Like, what was the reason? Why did you need to say that? Once again, why did you need to humble Raven in that way? I mean, it was just so unnecessary. And I've also seen other clips of the two. To me, they just don't seem very compatible to me, to be honest with you. I've seen clips of the two in other interviews, and one of them stuck out to me where they were talking about having separate bedrooms. A lot of couples have separate bedrooms, but I just did not like the manner in which Miranda was talking about Raven. And in that, and you can go look it up for yourself, but in that particular clip, she almost seemed disgusted by Raven in a way. The reason why they decided to have separate bedrooms. So like I said before, I just am not feeling Miranda at all. I feel that she does her hardest to upstage Raven, to humble Raven in some way. And mind you, I am not even a big Raven-Symoné fan, not based off of her work, her show business work, but once she appeared on The View and I could see more of her personality, I'm good on her. But it just still is very awkward to watch the two of them engage with each other as a couple. So I'm just not feeling it. And I just don't like the way I feel like her wife humbles her or tries to make her look small in front of other people. So get down in the comments and let me know if I'm off base with that. What's your viewpoint on Raven and, I was going to call her Samantha. That tells you how much I know about her. Miranda, what's your view on that interaction? Do you get weird vibes from it? Let me know. And if you're not already following the Black Death Society, what are you waiting for? We're on the road to 5K around here, so please make sure to follow.
That lady had the audacity to sit up there on that podcast and be like, people wonder why I'm here. People wonder why I'm here. And like, I started this podcast. It's Raven and Miranda. And Raven broke that damn fourth wall so quick. It was almost like she had a vision. It's into the future. And I was weak as fuck. That little fourth wall break let me know that Raven is starting to see what we see. Raven's name is first for a reason. And you had the nerve to be like, people wonder why I'm here. Yes, because ain't nobody checking for you, Otis. We literally have no idea why you're there. Even we'll be sitting there talking to somebody about their shared experience on Disney, and you're chiming in like you was in the room. Girl, what? That's why we wonder why you're there. There's really nothing you can contribute to the conversation of experience that does not involve you, that you do not share. So why are you talking and laughing like you're in on the joke? You don't even know what the fuck is funny. That's why we ask why you're there. When Raven looked at us and we looked at her, we were like, girl, see, we told you. Raven was like, okay, now she's taking it too damn far. Why would you say that? It's all in the name Raven and Miranda. I just want you to know. You know what? Matter of fact, do an episode without Raven. Do an episode without Raven. Do a couple without Raven and see what your analytics say. See how many people tune in. That should let you know everything you need to know. That was so bold. That was so bold of her.
And I'm not one to bash anyone and their spouse or their spousal choices, but I have to agree with everybody eating her ass up. Like, and there's no offense to you, sweetheart, but like, do you even understand like who your spouse is? Like, do you get it? Because no one's coming to see you, Otis. Like we're coming to see your wife. I mean, do you get that? Do you know that? Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand what the confusion is. Like, why are you confused and shocked and taken aback that we're not really interested in you, girlfriend? And we not. Like, maybe it'll be different if she had a different kind of spouse, but your attitude doesn't make it any better. Your entitlement of the whole situation does not make it any better. And y'all, did y'all catch Raven face? When her wife was like, she didn't start the podcast, I did. This is my podcast. Girl, Raven veered off like, I'm not gonna put no number on it. But things don't last forever, no ways. I don't give them that long.
The level of delusion that Raven-Symoné's wife has honestly needs to be studied, because Miranda really thinks she's on the same level as Raven, and she has proved that time and time again. These two have a podcast called Tea Time with Miranda and Raven, where they interview a lot of former child stars, specifically Disney Channel stars. This go around, we got Allison Stoner, and in this interview, they are talking about the comment section and just how negative it can be. This is where Miranda says a lot of people have a 6th grade reading level and comprehension level or something along those lines, and how she has to remember that when she gets comments asking her why she's even on the podcast, because she was the one who thought of the idea and not Raven. And honestly, the look that Raven gives is priceless, because I know she's thinking in her head, this bee can't be serious. There's no podcast without Raven, and the fact that Miranda is having a hard time comprehending that is very ironic given her statement. In exception to this, anytime there is a viral clip, it involves Raven. Raven is the one with the connections to the people that they're interviewing. Raven is the one with a very stacked career in the industry. And I honestly couldn't tell you who Miranda is or what she does. There's been so many times where Miranda has slighted her own wife by saying weird things like she's never watched That's Her Raven, and it's just kind of like she's trying to diminish Raven's light, and I'm not for that. And though I won't speak for her, I really feel like Raven is getting a little tired of it too.
Raven-Symoné might be with us when we say that her wife is actually annoying. Raven's face in this clip says it all. There's no denying it. And I'm glad they caught this on real time.
Literally, no, because sometimes I look at these things and I'm just like, my gosh, like this show is called Tea Time with Raven and Miranda. The amount of times that people still ask what I'm doing sitting here is mind-boggling to me. It's like, I started this podcast, not Raven, me. Like, that's why I'm here. People that I put water in cups.
I don't know, if I'm in a podcast with my significant other, it doesn't matter who started what first. It doesn't. And even shouting it out and saying like, oh, but I started it first, that's a red flag. We keep seeing red flags with Miranda, but I'm starting to think it's true. Before, I was just thinking that people were trolling them, but girl, that was not cute to say I started the podcast first. What does that solve? Because you're still gonna get trolling. I don't see how she thought that was something good to say.
I'm sorry, but I could not take this video seriously. Raven, you are mewing at us, ma'am.
I'm here with Miranda, my wife, to tell you to stop it in the comments and stop with the death threats in her DMs. It is disrespectful to her and in turn disrespectful to me. Stop it.
It's really become wild. I hope to clear the air right now and letting you all know that I never have once said that I did not know who Raven was. I only ever said that I did not grow up watching That's So Raven. I did not watch her as a child. But since getting married and meeting her in 2015, I have seen the majority of her work. I love That's So Raven. I think she should have won all the Emmys. I think my wife is endlessly talented. I support her beyond. She also just isn't Raven-Symoné to me.
Now, Raven has every reason to defend Miranda because that's her wife and she gonna stand by her regardless. I feel like people have never cared for Miranda, especially since she and both Raven were featured on Fanita's podcast.
Hardy is so cute. It's making a comeback. All the young hot turn girls are wearing Ed Hardy now.
Too bad I'm an old burnt girl.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
She is.
I'm not turned anymore.
She's almost 40. So don't try to shade her.
Now, I feel like the reason why people dislike this lady is the same reason why people don't like Simone Biles' husband. She does not hesitate to humble Raven, which can come off as tone deaf and a bit rude, especially since Raven is deserving of all of her flowers and then some. I think it's less of an issue that she didn't grow up watching That's So Raven and idolized her like a lot of us did, because I mean, that's her truth. We can't be mad at that. I think some folks are just turned off by her personality and sense of humor, so whenever she pokes fun at her spouse, it comes off as her being a hater and a wet blanket. Do y'all feel like people's feelings towards Raven's wife are justified, or do you feel like Miranda is just being misunderstood?
I have a shady request. I know Miranda from Tea Time with Miranda and Raven be up on these apps. But I'm tiny. So I'm just gonna make a little request, see who gets it. If any of y'all are out there and are like independently wealthy, have time, maybe have a skill in video editing, and every week that they release a podcast, you could just like contextually maybe so that it makes sense, maybe you have to keep her in a little bit, but like for the ones especially with guests, maybe we could just like cut her out a little bit. You know, monetizing because you're independently wealthy and you don't want to get copywritten. But I'm just like, I feel like the podcast would be really cool if she wasn't in it. And that's not to say that she couldn't be a part of the process. Maybe she's awesome at content, like behind the scenes. Maybe she takes on that like Oscar producer role that like Just Trish had. Like, I just don't think she needs to be on there like that personally. Also, if you are married to Raven-Symoné, you don't need to be proving to us why you deserve your position. But you gotta try to look at the podcast objectively. Like, what are you adding? At the end of the day, we have to all ask ourselves, what are we adding? So yeah, if you're independently wealthy and have some video editing skills and want to just like make the podcast like Raven with guest, I'd watch it. Because Lord knows I'm not watching it now.
Raven-Symoné's wife telling us that Raven might get rid of her breast before Raven actually had the chance to tell us that she might get rid of her breast is exactly why I say that girl does not like Raven.
I even thought I was Jewish for the longest time.
What are you?
Not
White?
Jewish, just, yeah, like a white girl.
I like you guys together quite a bit.
She was really bummed because she thought that in marrying me, a Jewish girl, she was going to get an upgraded.
I was marrying rich too, and then I found out.
Yeah, but you're rich.
I doesn't mean as rich as me.
Really? Wait, what? You're wealthier?
Yeah. Part of why I feel like I have to stand like 10 toes down about it and speak with my whole chest is because so many people think I married Raven just for money.
So say I didn't. Say I'm richer.
I do. That's what I just did.
So do it right here.
I didn't marry Raven for money. I'm richer.
So you married Raven because you're attracted to her.
Married Raven because I'm really attracted to her, even her boobs, and she might remove them, and that's fine with me because I don't care.
Let me first say we're not going to talk about the fact that she kept interrupting Raven throughout the interview. But then she went along and she said she had to stand 10 toes down because people think that she would marry Raven for money. So what people think? Y'all are rich. If Raven is rich and you're richer than Raven, y'all are rich. Why are you worried about what people think? Now, as far as what the wife does, I have no idea. Based off my investigation, she was a doula during COVID. She did some personal assistant work for other celebrities before she met Raven. Other than that, I don't know where all this money comes from. Raven's estimated net worth is $40 million. You can tell that Raven really loved the girl because she's trying her hardest to make her feel comfortable in a very uncomfortable situation. And if you go back and watch the clip, you can clearly see that Raven is uncomfortable when the girl brings up her breast. Raven was like, cut that out, cut that out. I think she was literally telling the producers to cut that portion out of the interview. Like, I didn't even know that Raven was transitioning. Did any of you guys know that? Yeah, no.
Raven-Symoné still ain't learned. And Raven-Symoné is my childhood idol. Like, that's a Raven will always hold such a pinnacle place in my heart. But sometimes you have to call out your childhood faves when they're wrong. And see, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I come across a video where Raven's on the Howie Mandel show. And they're joking, so don't take this video seriously. I'm joking too. And Howie says something to the effects of,
you ever put your own personal menstrual blood into
pasta sauce?
Pasta sauce.
You know, that is the way that I got Raven to fall in love with me.
Like, I know she lying. If you know, you know. But above all else, you know what this goes to show me? Raven still hasn't learned her lesson from the last time magic burnt her. And that shit turned you into a cow? Y'all was on the dance floor at the Chill Grill doing a Tootsie Roll with hooves. Like, not to quote another Disney property, but as Rumpelstiltskin said, all magic comes with a price. And then Raven's over here kiki-keying, talking about, no wonder why I love the sauce. You a wild girl. You a wild girl, Raven, for saying that's why I love the sauce so much. Raven loves the sauce. Like, girl, you was a cow with micros, and your micros ate. But as an OG fan, honey, the last forbidden sauce you played with had your ass mooing.
I don't have a problem with selfies as long as you ask me first. I actually don't like signing my name anymore because my hand gets a cramp. But if you want me to vote for you... You're not famous.
I'm not even finna drag Raven today because a lot of people are dragging her and her wife over a clip that surfaced of them talking about the dynamics of their relationships. So go ahead, Jeff.
Like, yes, she was like the best sex of my life. Or what? Should I not say was?
Was that a surprise to you? I mean, on camera, look at her, she red. Look at her.
Well, because I said
she already pink, but now she red.
Because I said was, and I thought
I'm not tripping over past tense. I was and still am.
Okay, so
give me all the tenses.
Because
not to squeeze it, get in the North Carolina.
No, because we had really great sexual, like we
Jeez,
have.
Okay, babes. Okay, you said it. I'm getting embarrassed now. Stop.
I'm just saying that existed in our relationship. That exists in our relationship, and we also checked the other boxes.
And so when we decided to sleep in separate rooms, it strengthened our lust and like.
And how often we text each other, because now we get to text each other goodnight.
Do you text each other goodnight now? So why don't you tell a story about it? how I wouldn't say goodnight, and you were so offended.
This is a whole different story, but
so offended. And now I say goodnight more.
Last night I did text her because I was on a phone call until like 11:45, and
I was in my art
painting.
cove. Yeah. Yeah, we text each other goodnight.
So Raven, how do I even say this?
Let me say
wife. No, my wife is different. She's not your average person by any means.
Check the receipts.
So
We know.
I'm a type of person who likes to say good morning and good night.
We know Raven is different, all right? And I just wanted to hear y'all to hit a court of marriage because a lot of people were dragging them saying, why do y'all sleep in separate rooms? Single people. Know why you like being single? Because you have your individuality. And people think just because you're in relationships, now forget the messenger. Take the messenger down, Jasmine. Take the messenger down. We know. People think just because you're in a relationship, you have to lose who you are. They think that you have to sacrifice who you are. The only thing you have to sacrifice is time to make time for the other person and what they're doing. You do not have to revolve your entire life around somebody else's life. It becomes a partnership, sort of like a work schedule. I see Jasmine every day, same time. I don't bother her after that. People need their separation. They need their individuality. And so when people were saying, what do you mean your sex life is good when you haven't seen each other? Because it's the absence, like, I was reading that book on that white woman. I can't remember that damn book. I can't remember people's names. I'm so bad at it. But she wrote a book on relationships and how people stay in marriages and in partnerships for a very, very long time. Is it Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is married and has been married for 20 years, and she lives in LA and her husband lives in Philadelphia, and there's no insecurity, there's no jealousy. When they see each other, it's really good. They're married, their affairs are in order. If somebody gets sick, somebody can come and sign off on them, manage the assets. She does her, he does him. They've been married for 26 years. They don't plan on moving in together yet, and they haven't moved in together, but it has not dimmed her as a person from evolving. It works for them, and a lot of couples are living that way. Because guess what? They get to be themselves. Like, I don't have nobody's energy breathing down over me. I love you for loving me and for letting me be me. And that's essentially what we want. And then we want to not be broke together.
Raven-Symoné is my childhood idol. Like, that's a Raven will always hold such a pinnacle place in my heart. But sometimes you have to call out your childhood faves when they're wrong. And see, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I come across a video where Raven's on the Howie Mandel show. And they're joking, so don't take this video seriously. I'm joking too. And Howie says something to the effects of,
you ever put your own personal menstrual blood into
Pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce?
You know, that is the way that I got Raven to fall in love with me.
like, I know she lying. If you know, you know. But above all else, you know what this goes to show me? Raven still hasn't learned her lesson from the last time magic burnt her. And that shit turned you into a cow? Y'all was on the dance floor at the Chill Grill doing a Tootsie Roll with hooves. Like, not to quote another Disney property, but as Rumpelstiltskin said, all magic comes with a price. And then Raven's over here kiki-keying, talking about, no wonder why I love the sauce. You a wild girl. You a wild girl, Raven, for saying that's why I love the sauce so much. Raven loves the sauce. Like, girl, you was a cow with micros, and your micros ate. But as an OG fan, honey, the last forbidden sauce you...
This is exactly why you shouldn't trust everyone with your food. Raven-Symoné and her wife recently had an interview where she went on to expose how she used the menstrual spaghetti spell in order to make her fall in love.
Have you ever put your own personal menstrual blood into
Pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce?
You know, that is the way that I got Raven to fall in love with me.
Breaking news.
I never thought anyone would ever ask me that question, so I can't lie.
Orlando Brown may have not been lying after all, because if you didn't know, love spells are actually used to make the other person crazy about you, which will then create a stronger soul tie, making it harder for them to leave, which seems to be a very common thing in the industry.
It's just a few drops, but yes, we do consume each other's blood on occasion for ritual purposes only. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled.
Now, this is very interesting because I remember watching the video of when Miranda, Raven-Symoné's wife, basically went on a talk show and said that, oh, she never thought anyone was going to ask her about this. So she ended up saying that, now I gotta be honest because you're the first person that ever asked me about this, but yet I do put menstrual blood in Raven spaghetti. Now, we don't know how true this is, but it's very interesting that she would say that because this is an actual spell. And we know that in Hollywood, the people do dibble and dabble in spiritual work, especially if we're going to really be honest, we're all under some sort of spell because the government, allegedly, in my opinion, does use witchcraft to govern the people. Government is literally a magical word. Word is magic, right? Word spells and all of that. But even the dollar that we use have dead presidents on there. So we're doing ancestor veneration. I talk about this all the time. This is not new. Magic is all around you. But a lot of people in the Hollywood scene does dabble in witchcraft. And even the casting couch, casting spells, the holly tree, with that is created the Hollywood and all that stuff, right? The holly sticks, the holly tree. But anyways, so when I heard that, she actually admitted to putting menstrual blood, and Raven was like, oh! We know the blood was working. Because what do you mean, ma'am? This is on national radio and she's saying that and you're not even gagging? Like you're not even saying anything? Like what? I understand, the relationship is different when it's the same gender and all that, and also when it's different gender. The relationship is different, period. And we know, right? But my thing is, why are you even saying this? And the fact that the way Raven be coming to defending this lady, and I understand that's her wife, and as she should defend her wife, but people only speaking out because your wife is doing some interesting things or saying some interesting things that we're just like, okay, well, if you're married to this person, there are certain things you just don't say. Like, for example, the whole blood in the spaghetti situation. That's something you just take to your grave. What do you mean, ma'am? What do you mean? And even if Raven was under her spell or whatever the case may be, it's very, you can see it. You can kind of see there's something going on because this lady goes out of her way. And love her to pieces. She's beautiful. And I watched her podcast pretty often. And I remember watching an episode where they talked about, sleeping in different beds. And I was like, you know what? I'm not completely opposed to that. Because if your partner has different sleeping patterns, then it's going to keep you up and all that stuff, right? But it's just that thing. If that's what works out for them, if they like it, I love it. But when she's basically cutting her wife in the middle of sentence just so she can jump in and say something like, hey, well, I know you guys keep saying that, why is Miranda here, in the Raven and Miranda podcast, which is kind of crazy that people are saying why is she there, because the podcast is called Miranda Tea Time with Miranda and Raven, right? Raven and Miranda. But her response to the haters is, I'm richer than Raven. So in my opinion, people shouldn't be saying I'm with her for her money because I'm richer than her. I thought it was a partner thing. I thought it was what's yours is mine, especially when you're married, right? I thought it was that. And she's like, oh, I'm richer than her. I do like her for herself, for her personality. And also I love she have great boobs. And I love that. I'm sure Raven does have great boobs. We don't know. But in my opinion, that shouldn't be something you're saying in the middle of a conversation because you already know how self-conscious Raven is about not getting the recognition that she deserves, especially as a child star who literally been acting since she was like 5 years old, probably younger. Like, for example, Raven, I remember one time I saw an episode of Raven at I think it was BT Awards, and they asked her something about her albums coming out, and she was like, well, I know you guys are hype about it now, but when until it comes out, as if she did not have that much faith in her own work, or she didn't have faith in her fans that were going to support her. And she was already older, I think she felt as though like when she was younger, people were taking her more seriously, and she was actually getting rewards for the work that she put out, which she should be praised because she does a lot of work in the Black community. Well, not in the Black community, but she does a lot of work for the Black community, especially like the shows that she's on, the representation of the Black community and all that stuff is amazing. But Raven, it seems as though she doesn't give herself enough credit, because I remember one time she was also on the red carpet and they moved her out of the way, or she said that she was moved out of the way. She was on one of the View, I think, when she was a co-host. She was talking about how they pushed her out of the way and on a red carpet because I think one of the Kardashians was coming, and you know, when they were popular back in the days, like, you couldn't open the TV, you couldn't turn the TV on without seeing the Kardashians, and they pushed her out of the way so Kendall Jenner could be seen on the red carpet, which I thought was kind of rude, but she kind of over exaggerate that, saying she pushed her. They didn't push her. They kind of said, hey, somebody else is coming in, right? Like, you're talking too much kind of thing, right? But she's someone who grew up in Hollywood, so she should already know how this thing works. It's like the machine, the promotion machine is going really good for the Kardashians right now. So everywhere they go, they're going to be noticed, they're going to be recognized because they got the machine behind them. And around that time, Raven wasn't as popular as when she was on That's a Raven or stuff like that, right? And then there's another thing where she basically doesn't get the recognition, and she's always downplaying her accolades, her accomplishments. And in my opinion, as someone who is her wife, who loves her so much and claims to be attracted to her and all that stuff, you shouldn't have to go on a podcast to tell people that you're richer than your wife, that they should leave you alone because you're not with her because you got more money than her. And then Raven's always looking so, there she go again, putting her foot in her mouth again, you know, but she can't tell her anything because she's her own person. She should be able to decide and basically read the room, and or just the things that you say, just the way you say it type stuff. And I just feel like she's always trying to one-up Raven because Raven have the support of the Black community. We always support her. We always step out, especially when she come out and say she didn't know Raven from That's a Raven. She didn't watch That's a Raven. People, not me, right? People were like, oh, how dare you not know That's a Raven? How dare you not watching That's a Raven? You know, maybe she married her because she wasn't like on top of her, like, oh, That's a Raven, sign for me, da-da-da, we loved you, da-da-da, you know what I mean? Because I noticed that a lot of time when people are actors and actresses, they want to, if they're not like fame hungry, like Kim Kardashian, you know, she will do anything to be famous and stay famous. They don't want to deal with someone who find them as this star, this idol, and they're like, oh my God, you know, they can't even function properly around you type stuff. Maybe she got with her because of that, because she didn't know her. She wasn't fangirling over her. Maybe it was like a breath of fresh air for Raven. But for you to go on the podcast and say, yeah, no, I know who she was. I was watching Lizzie McGuire. You know, I did not watch That's a Raven. I didn't even like see it in one episode. I never watched the Cheetah Girls. It's like, girl, you didn't see Raven at all. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You were watching that Lizzie McGuire. I was watching Lizzie McGuire, but I also watched Raven-Symoné because it was on Disney Channel. So there's no way I could say I've never seen a show about Raven. Maybe she just didn't watch anything Black, period. Could have been. We never know. Could have been. Maybe she never seen Kyle in the House. You know, how do you call these other shows? There's so many great shows on Disney Channel. Oh, nostalgic. Really, because I remember we used to be going to Bible study, and I used to not even want to go to Bible study on Fridays just to watch a new episode of whatever it was that was being played. And my mom used to be like, you're the devil. You're the devil child. Because you want to go to you know, youth service on Fridays. Well, I'm like, girl, you never even been to church. And the only time you go to church is during Christmas or when the pastor literally begs us to have you come into church. Usually during like a concert or a banquet or something. So let's not be hypocrite here. You know what I mean? But yeah, that like really just brought so much memory. But Raven is an icon. She's a legend in the Black community, and that is one of the reasons why people will always stick beside her. And even Orlando made a comment about how Raven, her wife, is her handler. And we know in Hollywood they do place you with people to be your handler, and they might embarrass you in public. They might, you know, control your whole life, but that's what they're here to do. And she could be Raven's handler, we don't know, but the things that she's saying and doing, it doesn't give that's what a wife would have done. Now I don't know what their situation is. Maybe they do have something great, maybe they have a great arrangement, whatever the case may be, but it's giving very much, excuse me, your wife doesn't really like you like that. And look, I'm only talking about this, I really don't care about these people that much. I'm only talking about this because it's actually my job to report this story, so I hope you enjoy it. And let me know what you think about the whole dynamic going on with Raven and her wife. Talk to y'all later. Bye. said, we're going to touch up some stuff on this book. So in this book is called Spell of Abundance, Love, Wealth, and Protection. So in this book, on the first page, actually, I have a glamour affirmation that you will basically say, you stand in front of the mirror and you stare at yourself and you admire yourself and you will say to yourself how beautiful you are. You'll basically seal this your beauty, like your glam, after you've done your makeup, or even stand in front of the mirror naked with nothing on, so you can really reaffirm yourself of your beauty, of your confidence and all that. This book is mainly for like self-confidence and self-elevation, you know, calling the goddess in you, calling the divinity in you, you know, calling the beauty in you, and also work with the moon, because the moon represents the woman, the mother, womb, water, all of this. So yeah, I have all the steps in here of all the spells that you need to do. It even has one for to get rid of unwanted guests. It's pretty funny. To get rid of unwanted guests. And this book right here, right? So I'm gonna run down real quick of all the materials that you're going to need. You will need a brand new broom. It has to be brand new. And you'll need a piece of parchment paper, a black pen, a black trash bag, because we're going to get rid of this sucker, right? And of course your intentions. And also I have spells on here that you can say. I have daily affirmations. And also I have spells on here that you can do every single day to work with the energy of the planets of the day, and also the archangels that work with the day. So anyways, there's so many spells. There's a 7-day manifestation spell with archangels. And let's see. A 30-day money spell with bay leaves and the Fihu sign, which is a money sign. It's like an F with the extra part. Anyways, the symbol's there, and I even show you like what you need to do, what the sigil look like, all that. And the keys to enhance your spell. So there are different things on here on how to enhance your spell and basically grow your finance, grow your love, self-love, self-admiration, chance to say to yourself to give you that extra energy to go about your day. And also it's tips to enhance your spell. Oh, I already said this. And morning coffee abundance prosperity spell. You guys remember I just shared a video about morning coffee and how important it is when it comes to hoodoo, and how you can basically use your first cup of coffee in the morning to manifest a better life or a better day, or to bring forth money to you. So don't let, you know, you're already doing these things anyway, so you might as well just incorporate something a little bit extra to basically boost your thing. And here's to influence your boss spell. So this one, I'm sure people who are actually working are going to love this. It's to influence your boss and attract favors towards you at work. Because look, in this economy, we're all working and we need some boost at work, and we also sometimes need to be tied to our job, so therefore you don't get fired. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that you could do to basically tie yourself to your job, and or tie the job to you. And once you're done and you're all tired of that job, you can get rid of it. It's not something that's completely permanent, but use magic, guys. It's here for you to use. You have the herbs in your closet, you have the herbs in your pantry, you have the candles that you could just simply buy some candles super cheap. Use magic to elevate your life. Use magic to make yourself better. Let me tell you, Jesus was out here using magic, okay? Walking on water and stuff and turning water into wine. Sounds like magic to me. But anyways, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.